What is up, everybody? Welcome to AK Plays. I'm AK. Let's play. Alright, everybody. So today I'm going to be talking about something a little more serious. Kind of funny. I go from a comedy goofy video yesterday to a serious topical video today. Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about, is solo play dead in the Division? Now, I hate to use dead and make it all clickbaity, but I don't know. I kind of feel like I gotta do it. So either way, is solo play dead in the Division 1.8.3? Short answer is kind of. Now, the one exclusion, the one time that I say, no, of course it's not dead, it's thriving, is if you're willing to use Nomad. If you're willing to use Nomad, yeah, you can probably do fine in solo. If you're not willing to use Nomad, sorry, solo's dead. I'm going to be bold, very blunt with it, guys. Now, the reason that I even looked into this or cared to go into a serious topic like this is, I've been watching a lot of other content creators, some of the bigger ones, Marco Style I think being the biggest, pretty much completely quitting and talking about solo play completely ruining it for him. And I saw that, and that's one of the guys that's, I mean, he's huge. And so I was like, wow, well, I haven't done a ton of solo recently, and I really haven't looked into it. I did it at the very beginning of 1.8.3. I tried running Nomad solo, and I mean, of course, that's super successful. Everything else that I tried to run in solo, I mean, it didn't really go all that well, but I didn't think anything of it. And then I thought, you know, I mean, I'm going to work with my team. I knew how important team was in 1.8.3, and so I really haven't looked back. I do have a good team that I play with every day, and if they're not on, I have people that I've got on my friends list that fill in as well. And so usually I'm not without at least one team member. I don't usually run solo unless it's intentional, like I'm trying to get footage for a build, or I'm trying to test new things. And usually if I am solo and nobody else is on, and I want to have fun with the game, I go to skirmish and do this with Alpha Bridge because that's really enjoyable and I have fun with that. And it's close range PvP, you don't have to go look for people, people just pop up and then you fight them and move on to the next ones. They don't run away from you because it's a skirmish map, and so there's not a lot of places to run, and that makes it fun for me. But then today I went and said, you know what? If it was so bad that Marco Style quit and other content creators are getting upset and bored with the game, other ones are leaving it, saying they're going to quit or they're changing games, I figured, you know, I should at least look into this and see how bad it really is. And I went solo all day today. I went and I tried different builds, I tested different things, I spent hours and hours trying different servers going solo. And I used everything from a hybrid Pred and Banshee to a Takshi or Tactician Banshee. Tried out a Banshee, like a normal Banshee. Tried out a Tactician. Tried out, I literally, list could go on. I probably tried 10, 12 builds today. Just kind of screwing around like I did at the beginning of 1.8.3 when I was trying to find the best solo build. Back then I came to the conclusion that it was obviously Nomad, and obviously I stand by that. And what I found is, no matter what build you're using, no matter what happens, it's going to be rough. Obviously, everyone knows how toxic and difficult the community is here in the Division. So, even if you're using the most off-meta, crazy build that requires extreme skill and effort, very few people are going to say, oh, that was respectable of him to use that build in such a difficult meta, and definitely commendable, even though we all have Nomad on. People aren't going to be like that. And if you get killed by 3 Nomads, a Pred, and a D3, even though you're using a Alpha Bridge Pred Mark hybrid, people are still going to laugh and clap on you and say that you're trash. And that's just, unfortunately, the game. Now, so that makes it very difficult to want to go solo, especially because not only do you have to deal with that toxicity, but you also have to deal with those builds. And Nomad is the best solo build, and it is very, very difficult to fight, even when they're in a group, especially if they outnumber you, because they're going to have extra lives, they're not going to have to worry about breaking away from face tanks, and they have an extra health bar, health regen, heal over time, which is going to make sure that your heal rate, even if you have a lot of skill haste, isn't going to match theirs. So it's very tough to fight them, and then if there's a D3 in the mix, good luck killing a D3 while solo, especially if they have people helping them. It's very difficult. I know it's possible, obviously, and but fighting against a D3 while solo, and if they have teammates, it's very, very difficult, and unless you really, really outplay them, it's going to be tough. Now, of course, if you go into a server where it's got a ton of people that are just not at the skill level you are, of course you're going to be able to solo it. But in the last update, there were builds and there was the ability that you could solo. Now, and that was because Striker was very strong and it allowed a good player to become their best self. And not only was Striker the part that made solo a lot easier, but it was the immunizer drop and pop. To get 30% health and have a second heal object giving you healing like that was huge. Your survivability was upped and it allowed you to stay up longer and be able to dish out more damage while having higher stamina and firearms. Now that we don't have the drop and pop box, you're kind of out of luck when it comes to healing. You have your first aid self-heal and your box leaving it on the ground and then trying to prop 10 seconds later. But if you're not running with good skill power and skill haste, your heals aren't going to be that good and you're going to require team. Now, team is the #1 most important thing in 1.8.3. I made a video about that a couple weeks ago. Your team is a must-have. Running solo is extremely difficult, and it always has been in 1.8.3. In 1.8.2, you could probably go solo manhunt with just about any build, and I did that. I'm sure you guys did as well. I went and tried crazy builds and did weird build videos with really funky builds, and manhunt was not that hard to achieve. In this update, it's pretty tough. Even with some of the best off-meta builds, if you're not running something meta, dropping a solo manhunt is much, much harder, especially running against multiple people running meta builds. You're not going to find a server that's going to be all off-meta. It's very, very rare. And if you do, then yeah, it'll be a little more competitive. But you're going to probably run into 2 or 3 D3s with about 6 or 7 nomads and a couple of Predmarks running disruptors. And going solo against that kind of combination in this update, I'm sorry, but even if you're an excellent player, it's going to be really hard. And I think that's why a lot of the good players and a lot of the content creators and big deal, big name people, even big clans I haven't seen in a long time, are kind of going away from the game, at least for this update. There's really nothing you can do in that kind of situation, and it makes it really hard on those people. Now, I'm not upset with the game, guys. I'm very positive. I try to stay pretty happy, and I still love this game. They could literally do some horrible things to this game, and I still would love it. There's no other game that really fills this niche for me that I just enjoy the... I don't know, the builds and everything about this game is enjoyable for me. I like the builds, I like the combination of gear sets, playing different roles in a team, and fighting against an army of people, potentially, that all have different gear sets and builds on their own. Now, that for me is really fun. I enjoy the different roles and seeing everything work together and working as a unit. And I think that's really fun, and no other game has that for me, at least. I'm sure there's other games that you could kind of get close, but for me, this game fills a really cool role that no matter how weird and crazy and odd the developers mess this game up, I'm going to probably still love it. Now, I know a lot of other people might not feel the same way, and I'm well aware that a lot of people are very upset with this patch. Is it my favorite patch? Of course not. I liked pretty much 1.7, 1.6, even the early 1.8 and 1.8.2 were some of my 4 favorite patches. Now, this one, not quite up there for me, because it really forces you to be in a team and to use meta builds, or else you're at a very distinct disadvantage. But, I don't know, guys, maybe it's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry it was a little more serious today, but I will catch you guys tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.